Never has there been a toy that's been this successful. The kids delight in finding new twists to the games, secret passages they didn't discover the first times they played, bizarre new weapons. These controls direct the characters.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm finally back after months of not posting, and I apologize for that because a lot has happened since. I also took forever because this video, a bit of a mind. Today's video is one that I'm pretty passionate about because it's also a personal evolving life lesson for me that I think a lot of you will also be able to relate to. And basically the past few years I've been kind of having a bit of identity crisis. I realized that a lot of the things that I do in my life is pretty much motivated by social media. For example, if I envisioned my dream house, it wasn't just what I wanted, it was, but will it look good for YouTube or for an Instagram post? I know that this mentality I have definitely has to do with the fact that I grew up in an internet generation, and also because I have been a YouTuber ever since I was a teenager. What intrigues me is how more and more people want to become internet famous too, and there's clearly a rise in people addicted to social media. So for today's video, I really wanted to explore the consequences of all of this, how it could cause an identity crisis and slowly begin to take over your life. But before we dig deep into all of this, I want to quickly talk about today's sponsor, Wren. So I try to spread awareness about the environment, the climate crisis, and sustainability on my channel when I can, but I know consuming all of these news can be really overwhelming, and sometimes it just leaves you feeling so helpless. You just you don't know what to do and you don't know where to start. Wren is a website that makes it super easy to calculate and offset your carbon footprint. All you have to do is answer a few questions about your lifestyle and then find out about your carbon footprint and then what you can do to reduce it. Like a monthly contribution that funds carbon reduction projects. You will get monthly updates in detail on the projects you choose to support. You will know where your money is being spent on. Out of all the projects that Wren has, the one that I'm really passionate about is their clean cooking fuel for refugees in Uganda, which ultimately helps to improve their quality of life for these refugees. And it also helps to prevent deforestation. I just find it so bizarre that we've come to a point in life where with just a few clicks away, you can make a meaningful difference to the world, regardless of where you are at. So if you're interested in being more eco-conscious and participating in this, you can now easily start offsetting your carbon footprint with my link in the description down below. And first 100 people to sign up with my link, you will have 10 extra trees planted in your name, which is pretty freaking awesome. Huge thanks to Wren for sponsoring today's video. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. For today's video, I'll be using two philosophical theories that predicted this modern society chaos, where we choose to live a fake life over reality itself. It may be confusing at first, but just stick to the end and I swear it will make a lot more sense as I link it back with social media. Published in 1981, simulation is the imitation of a model from the real world. An example of this is a flight simulation. Simulacra are copies that depict things that either had no original or no longer has an original. His work examines how modern society has replaced all reality and meaning with symbols and signs. Human experiences replaced with the copied version of reality. In other words, simulation and simulacra dominates our lives. We live and make decisions based on a constructed reality. He explains this process of constructing hyperreality in 4 stages. Stage 1, the sign is a good representation of a basic reality. Stage 2, the sign masks a basic reality. For example, apple juice. It's no longer a direct representation of reality as it has been altered, therefore distorted. Stage 3, the sign masks the absence of a basic reality, a copy with no origin. The image makes you ask, what is the reality and does it exist? It still has some similarity to the origin, but it's mainly used to deceive us. Stage 4. The sign has no relation to reality whatsoever. There is no original version. It has become its own simulacrum. His argument is that we are living in this stage 4. We are living in a simulacrum. I can no longer think what I want to think. My thoughts have been replaced by moving images. Human meanings are artificially constructed to appear as the truth. We connect more with the hyperreality reality than our reality itself. We become unsure whether our experiences are real or not, destructing identity, originality, and character. Reality is recognized only when reproduced in simulation.
Welcome to Disneyland. All of us here at the happiest place on earth are glad to have you as our guests on this special day.
Hiya, kids. Hello.
Here you leave today and enter the world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy.
Disneyland is a perfect example of a hyperreality. It's an imaginary world brought to life. He argues that Disneyland exists to make us believe that adults are elsewhere in the real world. It hides the fact that real childishness is everywhere, particularly adults that come to Disneyland to release their childishness. So the way I perceive this, places like Disneyland exist to make visitors believe that everything outside of this place is indeed reality, to hide the fact that everything else is also just a manufactured reality, overpowered by simulation and simulacra, just like Disneyland.
Life in the modern world is life in the society of the spectacle.
The spectacle is an everyday representation of the capitalist phenomena seen everywhere. It's also about the social relations among humans and the authentic life, which is what the mediated images are based on. He argues that for decades we have become passive consumers or viewers of this spectacular show that portrays an ideal lifestyle. As a result, it alters the human perception, beliefs, interactions, and relationships. He argues that social life is no longer about living. Instead, it's about having. But now it's not even about having anymore, it's about appearing to have something. The spectacle must present itself as enormously positive. If it appears to be good, then it is good. What it wants is passive acceptance, which is already effectively imposed by the monopoly of appearances, deteriorating everyday life, and the ability to understand everyday life. Colleges are now offering classes for aspiring TikTok influencers. TikTokers can make a lot of money, up to $80,000+ per TikTok. Overnight fame and money is a lot more promising now for the average ordinary person. Because of this, it does put a lot of pressure on the majority of the people who aren't exactly society's definition of success. So it puts a lot of pressure that you can't ignore. If they can do this easy work and make it big and successful, then why can't you?
5, 6, 7, 8.
Nowadays, more and more people are posting content like what I do in a day, daily routines, point of view videos. You don't exactly need to have talent in order to make lifestyle content. You just need to be self-branded.
This is your sign to take yourself on a date. Enjoy spending time with yourself. It's okay to celebrate yourself sometimes.
Joshua is a TikToker with above 1 million followers. In a viral TikTok of his, he opens up about the struggles of being a full-time content creator.
I'm a full-time content creator, babe. Everybody wants a job because it's creative, freeing, not a 9-to-5. But ever since going full-time, I realized that I traded my 9-to-5 to work 24/7 instead. Not a second goes by that I'm not thinking about making content. I don't watch sunsets or have genuine moments with my friends without being like, oh guys, can we do that again? I wasn't recording. I don't look at popular TV shows like Euphoria or Gossip Girl without a pen and paper by my side. I get my 9-to-5 to live in a fancy apartment and work 24/7 for a living. But every day I ask myself, did I really choose freedom or just a fancier cage? But at the same time, isn't the fancier cage better than a regular one? Yeah, probably.
To be a self-branded full-time content creator basically means to monetize your whole life.
Guys, I feel so bad right now. I was holding her phone and it slipped out of my hands and it broke again. Babe, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make it up to you, I promise.
What? After all, being a lifestyle content creator is easy, right? Except when you realize you're competing with millions of other people. So you can't really afford to take a break because you've got an algorithm to feed. And what do you do when your real life is not as interesting enough to entertain your audience? Ironically, it's even become a way to create content where you fake something to make a statement about being fake. These videos include faking vacation trips, pretending to attend events like Coachella. Some people even go viral for sharing their secrets on how they created this illusion.
It's so funny to me because it's like, oh, like, She's at the beach. That's so cute. Incorrect. Bags of sand for $4. And once I found that out, things went downhill. Oh, I bet she's having herself a little pool day. That's, that's fun. You would be incorrect. No, but really though, this was such a good idea. Like, come on. Absolutely genius. It looks so good.
I'm gonna try whitening the backgrounds. I don't want it to be that gray. Try to just whiten everything. I'll even whiten my shirt a bit so it's kind of more vibrant, I guess.
It amuses us when we're reminded that reality indeed is not polished. Which begs the question, why are we so obsessed with deceiving others?
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality.
Real life is unfiltered. We make mistakes, so of course it makes sense if we have the choice to avoid these and curate an ideal, flawless version of ourselves online. Why wouldn't we go for that instead? Cameron is a YouTuber who has gained almost 2 million subscribers that follow her life as a teen mom. She recently made a video coming clean about her life that she's been sharing the past 4 years.
Behind the scenes, things are just getting worse and worse. I was a lot better at hiding it. The more my life went downhill, the more I threw myself into YouTube. It was how I was coping. It's almost as if I wanted to live in that fantasy of we're just this normal, happy, perfect family. Staging everything perfectly, but we were just like scripting out this super fun day as a family that at the time probably wouldn't have happened if we weren't gonna film it. I felt trapped in this box of this is how everyone thinks I am, so this is how I have to be. Outside of acting happy on camera, I had no idea who I was.
This is also a reoccurring thing that happens with most family vloggers that try to portray this happy, perfect family life online. But don't be fooled, it's not always just about pretending to be happy. To fake cry and be emotional is also good for the views. Like the time when the mother of a family vlogging channel forgot to edit out the part where she forces her son to cry with her for a thumbnail.
I love you guys. Come here, come closer for the video, come closer. Come closer! Act like you're crying. Really quick.
I am crying.
Go like this.
No, Mom, I'm not just usually crying.
No, I know, but go like this. But let them see your mouth. Let them see your mouth. Look at the camera, look at the camera. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's over, it's over, it's over.
I'm like a whole new person like every year. Oh my gosh. Having to keep up, it's almost like you're switching identities every few months because there's a new trend or a new thing going around and you want to fit in and you don't want to be like the one that is the odd one out or the one that hasn't experienced that.
Social media for some is a harmless tool, and it can honestly be such a great way to creatively document your life and moments in life. But for others, especially those who want to be content creators, it can insidiously dictate your life. Trendy, mass-produced lifestyles come and go, but these trends can easily dictate your life decisions, life goals, travel destinations, the food and drinks you consume. You end up making decisions not based on what you want, but based on the question of, will it be worth sharing online? As debord argued, being is replaced by having, and having is now replaced by appearing. It's no longer about actively living your life. Instead, it's all about appearing to experience life. All that was once directly lived has become a mere representation.
So I always recommend being in the moment. You could be holding a coffee, an ice cream, biting into a pizza. Walking is always cool and looking away. Then you can put your arms up and have fun and like be in the moment. Like being in the moment, I think tells so much more and shows so much personality.
You want to show that it's like you're drinking, you're almost drinking. If we want to look in the camera and still look like it's a candid picture, is to look to the camera as if the camera is your friend.
One of the latest trends on social media is photo dumping. The photo dump trend is usually an Instagram post of what appears to be a collection of random images. These posts seem candid and casual. It feels authentic, unlike the traditional Instagram post which were all heavily edited, picture perfect. This new trend kind of creates this sense of nostalgia, reminiscing the earlier days of Instagram where posting seemed to be less curated. But the irony of it all is that these carefully selected images intended to appear random and casual, at its core is still a representation of how you want to be perceived. The illusion of casualness conceals the fact that it's just a repackaged rule to be picture perfect. Your daily life should also be wholesome, fun, social, beautiful, funny, but most importantly, it must all appear to be effortless too. Ads imitate art, art imitates life, life imitates ads.
I had to fake it till I made it. If you have a chaotic household, which I think most people actually do, whether they want to admit it or not, you need to do your best to hide that. People don't want to see people screaming in the background, all this chaos going on. We want to think that you are the quintessential it girl, living in a cute place, or the world is unfair. We know that. Do not remind people of what they're trying to escape. You need to put out content that is worth aspiring towards, worth envying. I am putting out a lifestyle which is like, you too can actually do this because I did. What's stopping you?
Not too long ago, a TikTok document was leaked, which basically instructed TikTok moderators to not promote on their For You page users who looked ugly, poor, or disabled. This included disformatted face, lack of front teeth, senior people with wrinkles, obvious facial scars. But what really surprised me was that it was not limited to the shooting environment too. Basically, if the background of the user looks poor, then that needs to go, because we cannot let people know that poor people exist. Although these rules are allegedly no longer in use, TikTok's attempt to hide this aspect of reality that is not aesthetically pleasing to their billions of users perfectly defines simulacra. TikTok is constructing an ideal version of reality, one that strays further away from actual reality. By social conditioning the masses, it becomes our reality.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented,
We are social beings. It's in our nature to want to survive and fit in the group. It only makes sense that we want to conform to it. But one of the most critical issues here is that we aren't our authentic selves when other people are watching. And when it comes to our online selves, someone is always watching. So it makes sense that we want to portray our best selves online. It's just a matter of to what extent will we go with self-optimization. What makes it harder is that we're constantly being rewarded for these deceptions. So you attempt to live this ideal version of yourself that does not exist in the real, less exciting world.
Someday you will be a real boy.
A real boy!
I can do without caffeine. So can you. You see, High Point has a special way of capturing flavor. And that's what every coffee lover wants, right?
Deep brewed flavor makes High Point the coffee lover's decaffeinated.
You're gonna love it.
Philosopher Zizek, if I pronounced that right, describes our online selves much like decaffeinated coffee. It smells and tastes just like real coffee without actually being the real thing. There are no actual bodies, objects, and locations on the internet. Friends and followers on social media are nothing but copies of their real selves.
You're gonna love it.
When I got my first television set, I stopped caring so much about having close relationships.
You're on television! You're live to the whole world!
To live vicariously through someone else's life has never been easier in history.
Oh my god, know these pictures that I posted? Don't they look Facetuned? Liv is so good at makeup. I look like an Insta baddie. What else has been going on in my life?
Its illusion of genuine connections with others online is what stops us from building worthwhile connections in the real world.
What happened to hello? How are you? My name is. What happened to that?
Unlike Disneyland, where it represents itself as a fantasy world, social media hides the fact that it is a fantasy world. So it's easier to passively consume this distorted reality. Social media has conditioned us to feel like we're missing out if we're not on social media. At a time where social media is clearly becoming more addictive than ever, I think it's so important for us to critically think about these things we're consuming and how they also consume us. If we get equal meaning from fake reality and the reality, does it even matter anymore? Sharing this video with your friends and or on social media is a great way to start the conversation and spread awareness about this. I'm very curious to know what you guys have to say about it, and I limited this video mainly to just social media, but I am aware of the rise of AI and VR technology becoming a lot more hyper real, but I have also done videos on that, so if it interests you, you can check that out after this video. If you enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on the notification button down below so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys have any topics that you'd want me to explore. That's it for today, and I will see you all next time.